Well, hello and welcome back to The Broken Doll. Today I come to you with, again, this wonderful little guy, Dopey from the Disney movie Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. We're going to get his paint prepared today. I'm going to show you how I make it. But in the meantime, I just wanted to talk to you about something else. How many of you have ever heard of the story of Ferdinand the Bull? Ferdinand, if you haven't, Ferdinand the Bull was a very lackadaisy bull. He didn't want to fight. He didn't go in the bull rings or any the bullfighting rings and fight the matador. He wanted to sit up on the hill and smell the flowers. And that's what they had to do with him in the end, because he just would not fight in the bull ring, which probably saved his life in Spain. But anyways, I have my daughter's cat outside. There he is, way over yonder. There he is. I'm going to zoom up on him here. There he is. And he's just like Ferdinand the Bull, sitting out there, just waiting for a little bit of movement, a little bug in the grass, or a squirrel to run by to excite him. Okay, anyways, he's my Ferdinand the Bull. Anyways, we're going to come back here, okay, to, whoa, let's get this back to where I had it. Oh, okay, we'll zoom back out again, and then I'll zoom it back in. All right, there we go. We are going to prepare the paint for Dopey's flesh tone paint. Now when we talk about flesh tone paint, we're not talking about the color of our skin. We're talking more like 1930 doll paint. That's what we're talking about. So we want to, now when we look at a 1930 doll that has never been touched since the 1930s, we look at it today, a lot of the paint has a lot of dirt in it. So it's darkened. It's also oxidized somewhat, so it's not that fresh paint that it was back in the 1930s. So it's a little bit darker, but when I paint and I make up my paint, it's nice and fresh. What it would look like back in 1930s. So the type of paint they used on wood, and what wood loves, is oil paint. It doesn't really take to acrylic, especially on composition. Why I use oil and not acrylic is because oil loves wood. Acrylic is plastic. It needs to go on plastic with plastic. Oil is great for wood. You know, back in the day when we had more wooden house, like outside our houses were made with wooden slats and everything, we used to use oil paint to paint the outside of our homes. And over the years, though, we become more environmentally aware, and so we've kind of done away with that, and out came a lot of latex paints, and we don't paint the outside of our houses anymore. Maybe a few, maybe there's some out there, but most of our houses are plastic and brick and stone and whatnot. So like my house has siding on it, so, and at one time you can get aluminum siding, which my parents did back in the day when aluminum siding was all the go. But anyhow, on these type of dolls, this composition is sawdust and glue compressed together with a lot of heat. At one time they used cold press, but then they went to the hot press, and they pressed it. They found the dolls did better, came together better in the early 1900s, and they went with the heat press instead. And then the thing is that they loved wood. Now it will the oil loved wood. So the thing to do with this doll is to paint it with what it likes. Where is its marriage, its friendship? It's where it's going to join and become one, and that's oil and wood. So that's what now if you use acrylic down the road, your work might be in vain, because in short period of time acrylic will lift off of this doll, and it would have to be repainted all over again. That's why I'm repainting a lot of dolls, because a lot of dolls went 1950s, out came the late 40s, early 50s, out came the acrylic paints into the everyday world. It might have been used in a quiet zone of its invention, where it wasn't in the throes of everybody to use, into the public to use. But now in the late 40s, 50s, it's now out in the public to be used. And it's something what the World Wars brought through inventions and whatnot. Even before, acrylic paint was known about even many years before. But it, like I said, it just wasn't in our public usage. So anyways, all there was oil, and that's what they used, but oil worked. What will oil do as it gets older? Well, the oil in the paint will dry up, and it will cause a spider effect on the doll, little lines going all through the paint. Now, sometimes you can rescue that doll by just adding a little bit of linseed oil, and sometimes those lines will disappear. Sometimes not. But one thing about oil, you can put sand down oil paint. Okay, if it's in good shape, you can sand it down, and you can paint right on top with more oil paint. Okay, Now you can put acrylic on top of oil. It doesn't really grab onto it too well. You can use it. I'm not saying you can't, you can. But one thing about it is the reverse. Do not put oil on top of acrylic, because oil doesn't have the molecules in there, whatever, I'm going to call them little graboids. They don't have any little grabbers to grab onto the acrylic, so it's like it's going to slide. It's oil, so it's like oil and water type of thing. Acrylic is cleaned with water. Oil, you have to use a thinner, a paint thinner. So anyways, we're going to mix up his paint first. So what are you going to need? You're going to need 2 jars. That's what I got. This is the jar I mix it up in. This is the jar I will use to paint from. I have oil paint. Now, I'm in Canada, so like some of the states, they have environmental regards for oil paint. So the same in Canada. And I think it's right across Canada. I'm pretty sure it is. We can't buy oil paint, but I can buy this. This is Trebclad. And a lot of people say, well, that's for rust. No, it's just oil paint. That's all it is. Oil paint will take care of rust. Sand down your rust off of whatever object you have outside and use some Trebclad. It's just oil paint. Can't say it any different than that. And you can get all types of colors. So a way around this for me was through this here, buying the Trebclad. I also use artist paint to make my flesh tone. I use burnt umber, right here, burnt umber. I use brilliant red. I've used other reds, and this is the one I've settled with. And orange. Now, before I go any further, this is just another red. They're both the same red, brilliant red. I'm trying to use up my old stock first. Okay. Now, the thing is, I was going to say something. I lost my thought, but that doesn't matter. I also have a screwdriver to take the lid off. I have an extra paintbrush. I have a stir stick here to stir this with. Okay, I have my paintbrush I'm going to paint with sitting here too. It's in some thinner. And I also have paper towels, which I'm going to use a mighty amount of, which I forgot to go bring my pail over. I need a garbage pail because I am a mess when I do this. So I'm going to grab my pail over here. Okay, got my pail. This is my outdoor big pail here. So I got it right beside me here. All right, so anyways. Then this, now I'm not, oh, this is what I was going to say. I'm not saying the way I made it is the correct way. It might not be right for you. This way I've stumbled on myself and it works brilliantly. I love it. And I'm not trained. I'm not an artist by no means. I have no degree in art. I am a woman who just came along and fell into this and found a love for it. And I discovered things on my own. And that's the beauty of being in this, is that the discoveries you make as you move through restoring old antique dolls, things that you never thought you would, tools you never thought you were going to use, you're using. There's the world just opens up in this field of a lot of art, artistic ways that you never thought you possessed, and you find out you do, you know. So the thing is that my way may not be your way. This is my way, and it works for what I do. Now, if you want to copy it, I have no problem with it. I don't own it. I just figured it out myself. And maybe it was pre-figured out by other people before me. But I never had no training. No one taught me. I never saw anything. I wasn't studying YouTube videos. I did go to Michael's one day, and I asked him how to make flesh tone, and this girl who was a student in the art field was telling me I needed blues and greens and yellows and all this stuff. I didn't need none of that. So I bought all this paint up that she told me I need to make flesh tone and everything. And she was right off the mark, because she was painting people. And when you're painting people, yeah, you might use those colors, but not for dolls. So I had to go back to the drawing board again and go right to the beginning again. And in my little art container, I have a lot of those different paints still to this very day that I bought from Michael's, which I didn't need. Now I know what I need. I need burnt umber, brilliant red, and orange, and my white can. This is gloss, gloss white. So just to let you know. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to lay some paper towels down first, just to kind of save my towel here a bit. Okay, so doesn't matter, these are old towels. I get them from the thrift store, so you don't have to worry about, you know, if I ever have to throw one away, you throw one away. No right, no wrong by it. I like to have an extra one sitting by because usually by the time I'm done with this, I'm wearing paint all over me. I have an old shirt on, I have old shorts on with bleach marks all over them. Not a big deal. So first, let's pop up our paint lid here. Now this is going to be in several parts, so be prepared for that. This will be part 1. Okay, so there we go. You can see the oil. Let me get this lid off. You can see the oil on top of the can of paint. So let's stir this up. This whole container will go in my jar. Okay, so all right. I use this stick over and over again. I've used it so much for paint, it's unbelievable. Now, this is why you want extra paper towels sitting by. Okay, there you go. And it'll be used again. And I tuck another one underneath just in case I need it. So, does that look good? Oh, it doesn't look right. No, I'm too quick. Not enough. I can still see oil on top. Oh, and I got paint on my hands already. Okay, let's get that off of me. There we go. Get my glasses on, that might help. Oh yeah, I can still see some of that oil. I bought this when our store TSC was going out of business. So this year we got a Spirit Halloween in there this year. Alright, there we go. That looks so much better. Yeah, there we go. Alright, that's what it needed. Just a little bit more stirring. And believe me, it's going to get stirred a whole lot more. It is not done being stirred at all. So, let's take our paper towels one more time. Clean off our utensils as we go along. Keep our area clean. There we go. That's done in my garbage pail. Now we're going to take our jar here and we're going to pour this into our jar. Like I said, we are not done stirring. I can still see oil in this, and that's fine. We got a lot of stirring yet to go. A lot. So don't be... I like these little jars, these little cans. They're like $15 here. And I mean, you can buy the big ones too if you want, but these really tell me, like, they make up for a nice doll amount. And I'm not over mixing paint, too much paint. Now, I'll use this for other dolls as well. It won't be just going for Dopey. I got other dolls that will be in need of this paint just as well as he is, you know, just as much as he needs it. I got others that need it just as well. Alright, so there we go. I can see oil paint. Oil, I mean, in the paint, not stirred up. Which I kind of knew was going to happen because, yeah, I did get my paper towels out. I never stirred it enough, yes. But I know the amount of stirring I still have to do here is a pile of stirring. Okay, so we're not going to fret over that. Okay, I need a little, now if you're getting it all over your hands, I just take my paint thinner here, dip a paper towel into it, and just go over your hands, and it comes right off. Okay, and you're on your way again. Keeps you clean along the way. So we're done with that, and we're done with this. Okay, we can get that off our table here. So the first color I'm going to put in is my orange. I always start with orange. So let's get some orange in there. And you can see how much I'm putting in. I'm putting a great big streamline of it in there. And this is all done by the eye. Come on. Off you go. Come on, there we go. All right. Oh yeah, I guess I'll use that. Let's get that going. So of course we know what white and orange makes. It's just a dollar orange. I want to see where we are for time. And if not, let's just start my clock all over again here, because I'm just using my cameras right now. Let's see where we are for time, and I'll be back again in a few seconds. I can't see anything on that side. I gotta go around. Oh yeah, you're seeing this. I'm just gonna lift it up a little bit more so you can see a little bit more that way. All right, and oh, we're at 16 minutes, so I'm going to stop this, and we'll be coming now to part 2. Thank you for joining me. Subscribe if you're passing by and you like what you see here. Subscribe, and give me a comment if you like. I do read them all. Thank you again. Bye-bye.